Hey everybody, it's Oliver the Wolf Guy. I thought I would do another quick Wolf Awareness Week update this evening, while I'm out here with Akutak, our matriarch, Princess Bitchy Pants, the one who rules with an iron paw, and my beautiful Mooney, who wants to roll in something and I'm not allowing it. Mooney, we call her Mooney Badger, the angry weasel, because she punches above her weight. And today I want to talk about a state that should be paradise for wolves and instead has become a killing zone. And if you guessed I was about to talk about Montana, you win a star. Montana is unique in that it is a state with a poacher for a governor. Yes, he was convicted of poaching an elk some time ago. He also killed a trapped wolf under questionable circumstances. This was a wolf that wolf watchers had dubbed Max. Wolf languished in a trap for several days before his buddy called him and let him come and shoot it. And the issue was that Greg Gianforte, who is a bully and a criminal and a poacher and an outsider in the state, I believe he's actually from New Jersey. He's another one of these billionaires that got themselves elected and immediately tried to kiss up to the ranching and hook and bullet crowd. He had not taken the requisite trapping course before trapping and killing a wolf, and it was a beloved Yellowstone Park wolf. And ever since this jackass got himself elected, thanks to his money and his connections as the governor of Montana, Montana has been on a killing spree with its wolves. And this is particularly problematic because a lot of Yellowstone National Park, including a significant portion of the boundaries of the park where the most visible wolves in the world happen to live, falls under Montana. And this governor and this game commission and this state is literally killing the golden goose with a fervor that is absolutely science and ecologically unfounded, unsound, unconscionable. There's not enough superlatives to describe how crappy what they're doing is. And of particular frustration for wolf conservationists like myself and advocates around the world is that they absolutely refuse to institute a buffer zone around the border of the park to protect these park wolves, many of whom are collared and are subject to the Yellowstone Wolf Project's critical and, in some instances, game-changing research about wolves. Some of the most fascinating science with respect to wolves over the last 30 years has come out of that project and the work that they've done with park wolves. I just received word that Management Unit 313, which abuts the park, was closed today. They had a quota of 3 wolves. That meant that 3 of the collared wolves, possibly from the park, could be literally called, baited, drawn across an imaginary boundary, and then killed by gutless, bloodthirsty sociopaths who want nothing more than to claim that they killed a wolf. And many of them literally are gunning for the most famous wolves because they want to own the people that love wolves. These are unethical, incompetent tools, cowards. They're the people that make me pray for fatal hunting accidents because that's what they deserve. Probably not going to be too popular for that, but that's the truth. These are terrible, horrible people that are denying the world the incalculable value, particularly of these wolves. And what makes the hunting along the park boundary so egregious, in my opinion, is that these are not normal wolves. Not only because they're so well known and so important for science. Cooey, we're going to go this way. Mooney, you too. Cooey likes to go through a neighborhood and pee on every trash can to let everybody know it's her neighborhood, but I prefer to go in the woods. So that's where we're going to go. But not only because these wolves are so valuable to science and so important to people that spend literally hundreds of millions of dollars in Montana and Wyoming with a primary objective of going to see wolves in Yellowstone, But these wolves exist under very unusual circumstances because they are surrounded by people. They literally will walk between people and cars to cross the road. In other words, these wolves are habituated to the presence of humans. I mean, they smell our trash, they smell our cars. They're used to being observed with binoculars and telephoto lenses and spotting scopes from dawn to dusk, 365 days a year. And that makes the killing of these particular wolves incredibly unsporting, because typical wolves are very wary. They get a whiff of a human and they take off the other direction. I mean, even Mooney here, this black animal, is more timid towards unfamiliar people than some of these park wolves. She'll smell a wrapper and she'll cower and want to take off. And the Yellowstone Park wolves do not exhibit those behaviors at all because they have no choice. They are under scrutiny all the time. In fact, I have opined, and this doesn't make me super popular with some of the people that spend a lot of time in the park, that the people that are watching the wolves and observing the wolves are complicit in making them particularly vulnerable to these killers during the hunting season. And yep, this year they've already filled the quota. In fact, they've exceeded the quota. The quota was 3 wolves from Unit 313, and apparently they've killed 4 wolves because they didn't shut it down in time. And so we are still waiting to know which of the Yellowstone Park wolves met with the untimely demise by these unethical sociopaths. They give hunters a bad name. I have no objection to ethical hunting of big game. I have friends that hunt, and I appreciate greatly that when they have success, we also get rewarded, and they'll bring us stuff, and they also clean out their freezers for our animals. But killing predators, and particularly killing vulnerable predators, is just another thing entirely. And I have zero respect for those people. And if you're watching me and you're hating on me, good. I want you to, because I have nothing but contempt for you gun-toting morons. And the governor is complicit in what's going on there. I mean, they're trying to kill 90% of the wolves in the state. And what's going to end up happening, if you saw my video yesterday, chronic wasting disease is becoming more and more prevalent. The overpopulation in some parts of Montana of elk and deer is such that in order to keep these excessively large herds alive, they actually have feeding grounds, which are breeding grounds for not just chronic wasting disease, but other contagious diseases that can impact these herds. And, all these people want is to be able to get out of their fat asses out of a truck and shoot something. And real hunters appreciate the challenge of finding truly wary targets. And a good hunt looks like a real hunt. It looks like a pursuit, and it takes an effort and a mindful approach to what they're doing. And instead, these guys want a game farm where they can literally just roll out of a vehicle, pull off to a pull-off, sight up on something and kill it and load their freezer. And that's not hunting, that's just killing. And it's being abetted by their governor and their game commission and the extractive industries that are pulling the strings of power behind the scenes. But the chickens are going to come home to roost. Mark my words, the chickens are going to come home to roost, and those chickens look like chronic wasting disease spreading to the point where viable herds become rare and edible game becomes uncommon. And as I suggested in my video about chronic wasting disease yesterday, it is just a matter of time before we start seeing cases of CWD impacting cattle. And then the chickens will have really come home to roost. I mean, then they will get exactly what they unfortunately deserve, which is a landscape that's been poisoned because of their desire to rid it of predators, which is an 1850s mentality. We should know better by now of the value of not just wolves, but mountain lions. And they're also working their butts off to try to delist grizzly bears, which are barely hanging on. But yeah, they want to kill off the grizzly bears too. And they want to, sell tags. But I mean, it's not even a financial thing in Montana. They're practically giving away wolf tags. I mean, they're putting bounties on wolves in Montana, which is just, it's ludicrous. Anyhow, I'm starting to lose the light here and the quality is going to go way down in my video. But yeah, that's kind of a brief update on Montana and their gross poacher, ersatz cowboy governor, Greg Gianforte. You can find him at Greg for Montana on Twitter or X, and tell him Oliver Starr told you to tell him that he's an asshole, because he's an asshole. He's a bully, he's a thug, he's a poacher, and he's an asshole. And yeah, so this is kind of a grumpy update because Montana deserves consequences for their abhorrent treatment of wolves. Montana should appreciate the value of the wolves, and they should follow the science instead of being led by an idiot from New Jersey. No disrespect for people from New Jersey, but if you're from New Jersey and you come to Montana, maybe you should actually be respectful of the cultural aspect of fair chase and decency, and not lord yourself over with your big fake belt buckle and your dumb cowboy hat. Yeah, if you can't tell, I have nothing but derision for the guy. Anyhow, sorry for the grumpy update. I just got the news about 313, and I'm waiting like everybody else to find out. And I mean, to me, a wolf is a wolf. Like, there are wolves that are more famous, but to me, every wolf's life matters, and every wolf has a role to play in the dynamics of its family group and a powerful impact to help keep ecosystems healthy. And so Montana should not do this. And you should, if you want to help me out here, you could take action and just let the state of Montana know that they should close the hunting units that border the park. It's ridiculous that people can hunt those wolves. And if you want to help out the channel, here as the light fades, like, subscribe, and keep an eye out for my 2 books, The Wolf Lover's Guide to Raising Dogs and The Little Malamute Raised by Wolves children's book, which will be available just for Christmas. All right, that's Oliver the Wolf Guy in the dark, signing out. Hope you guys have a great night.